Please ignore my undies and my bra hanging out back there. I just did my laundry today because I'm really, really hoping I can move soon. And here in Spain, people dry their laundry by putting them on clotheslines out on their balconies because they don't have dryers. No, not everyone, but I don't have a dryer. And I didn't want my undies waving in the wind because I'm literally just feet away from my neighbors. So I brought in all my intimates and they're just hanging on cabinet knobs and doorknobs and anything I can hang them on right now. But anyway, I just wanted to talk to you today about something I noticed about living in Europe. And, well, actually I've only ever lived here in Madrid and in Nice. So there's something I've noticed about living in the south of France and Spain, which are kind of known for running on a similar tempo. And that is that there's a lot of waiting involved living here. You're just constantly waiting for everything. And for example, if you needed to do something important and you were to go to a government ministry or to the bank or even to the post office, you have to wait for service for a very, very long time. And I keep telling people this, but it's totally true. I learned all my bad words in France at the post office because even with just two people in front of me, I'd have to wait like 40 minutes for service. And so people in line would be just cursing the air blue, and that's where I learned all my bad words. But there's just a lot of waiting. If you were to go to a restaurant here in Spain, you have to wait for service, and then you wait for your food, and then you wait for your bill. Or if you were to go out with your friends, especially if they're locals, if they're Spanish, they're probably going to be late. Not to overgeneralize, but in my experience that's true. So you're probably going to have to wait. And then you have to wait for everyone to arrive. And then you have to wait to decide to where to go. And then you have to wait to actually get there, and just there's a lot of waiting involved. And in North America, there's like a 10-15 minute grace period where people are okay if you make them wait about 10-15 minutes, and then after that they get pissed off. In Asia, on the other hand, people get pissed if you don't get things done right away because it's all about efficiency. But here in Europe, here in Spain and the south of France, there's a lot of waiting. You just wait for everything. And the difference I find between France and Spain is that in France, people seem to be pissed off at first, and then they just resign themselves to waiting, and they just get used to it. In Spain, however, people enjoy it. Not that they necessarily enjoy waiting, but because Spanish people, they just enjoy life, and so every moment, if they're waiting for something, they will just chat up everybody in front of them and behind them in line and enjoy the whole chatting up of everybody. If they kind of take on the attitude of, since we're waiting anyway, hi, how are you? What's your life story? What's your whole situation? Let me tell you mine. And then they really enjoy that. They just make a party out of whatever they're waiting for because they're always waiting. So I find that really charming about Spanish people. And an example of this was that the other day when the Spanish national football team came home to Spain, they came... I think they did a tour around the city. Well, no, they went down some of the major streets in a huge double-decker bus. And so everybody in Spain was like all decked out in their Spain attire, and they were just there to welcome all the players home. And there was a lot of people, and the streets, I went to Gran Via, which is like the Broadway street of Madrid, if Madrid were New York. This big major street here. And I was there at just before 7, and there were already people there, and I was asking, security guards and everybody, policemen, when the players would arrive, and nobody knew. They just said, oh, I imagine soon. So everybody just started waiting, and it turned out that they didn't come in till about 9, so close to 10 o'clock. So we were waiting there effectively for like 3-4 hours, and what do people do when they're made to wait? They made a party out of it. So everybody, they were tooting their horns, they were chanting, and then all along Gran Via there are all these hotels, and so all the people living in the hotels who had balconies, they would just hang outside and yell to us, and eventually they started throwing buckets of water over their balconies down at the people, and everybody loved it because it was hot, and because the Spanish just love a good party anytime, and so just made a whole water fight party out of waiting to welcome their football team home. So it was just always waiting, and so it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm still running on Toronto time, so I'm still kind of impatient to say the least, but I'm trying to get used of it. I'm trying to just enjoy every moment of life as the Spanish do. So that was something I thought that was interesting and worthy of noting about living in Spain. I hope you all are doing really well, and I will talk to you later. Bye!